Good evening and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight you're joining us for our Boise State Arcade Challenge. A selection of daring players will battle their way through a gauntlet of games to see who is the overall arcade champion. And to call the action for you tonight, I am Jacob Palmer, joined by Audrey Norris. And tonight we've got a special kind of arcade challenge because all of the games will be made by one company, that company being Namco, the creators of Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of interesting games. I'm sure we'll see plenty that people have heard, and then some of the maybe hidden gems that we've never seen before, because you never know. I think the funniest thing about arcade games is just there are way more than you think there are. Like, everyone's like Pac-Man, and they're like, oh yeah, Pac-Man, Galaga. And then it's like, no. There's so many.
Yeah, Dig Dug, Pole Position. Have you ever heard of Sky Kid or Alien Sector? I mean, Namco's been behind a lot of games you might not recognize. And it's kind of nice because we'll have kind of a mix of the obscure and the very well-known. And all the arcade challenges up to this point have been kind of completely obscure games that a lot of people didn't know about. Now we're kind of mixing it with the well-knowns that everyone should have some skill at. Everyone should be. You'd think they could clear the first maze on Pac-Man, but it surprises me how many don't.
Yeah, it was something I always struggled with until I started doing stuff with my brother.
Well, how is it going to be structured? Well, we will go through a selection of games. We'll spin a wheel to decide what games we will play, and then we'll add up the scores throughout the night. And one good thing about all of these games being from a similar company in Namco is that all the points are structured pretty similarly. So it's not like we're going to have one game that's like the golden snitch of the night where whoever wins that game is going to win the entire thing. All the scores are going to be pretty even throughout the games. And of course, what are we playing for? Well, you're playing for just good old-fashioned bragging rights. And how do you get those bragging rights? Well, you follow Doc's Keys to the Game in arcade games. And those for tonight are going to be to, of course, taunt and create mistakes for your opponents. Never admit your weakness. 80s hair helps. And, of course, have fun. It's all brought to us by Dropping Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Dropping Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And just to show who will be going over the arcade challenge tonight, we will have 3 people, including Coach Moore, a familiar sight in terms of arcade. He has gotten in a lot of kind of rivalries and see who will get the high score. Tapper was one that he and one of our staff members, Dallin, was really playing for a whole time, just trying to see who would get the high score. So maybe we can start some new rivalries tonight with these games we'll play.
Oh, yeah, I remember Dallin arguing for Tapper to come back for a little bit, but who knows, maybe these 3 players tonight will be able to create some new challenges for everyone else in the staff and production room, and maybe even the players that we've got hanging out. You never know, because some of these games are pretty good for that. I mean, we could always have a good Pac-Man rivalry going, or even Mappy. I do like just in terms of the overall theming tonight, we've got the 80s 90s aesthetic going with our t-shirts. We've got Gen 1 Pokemon and Blockbuster here. Like, we're bringing the full retro aesthetic. We're prepared.
We are prepared. And let's spin the first wheel to see what the first game the players are going to have to prepare for. Some well-knowns and some more hidden gems. It is, in fact, going to be Mappy. You described that. And this is a very interesting, unique game.
This one is weird, but I like playing it. It's just kind of weird. It's pretty simple, though. Your goal, you're just a little mouse police officer, and your job is to avoid
stop literal cat burglars. I love the pun.
Literally. But you can't let them touch you, though, because if you do, you lose your life. So you got to get all of the artifacts back before they touch you.
And you have no means of really attacking. The most you can do is that there were doors spread out through the entire stage, and that's the only thing your button is good for, to open the door. And if you time it right, you can like slam the door in someone's face, or there are special doors that send out sound waves. But yeah, you can only move left and right, and then you're invulnerable when you're on the trampolines.
Oh yeah, the trampolines are your best friend.
They are your best friend.
I was playing it. I think my friend had like one of the little consoles where it has like 5 of the games. I remember I played it. Just sit on the trampoline for like a good a minute, waiting just until it broke, and then I moved on because just those cat burglars, well, the biggest danger with them is that they can sometimes like lock you into one of those hallways, and if you can't get past them, then that's it. You're done, and you got to go on to your next life if you have any left.
You got to really make sure that like the whole hallway is clear going forward to be able to be confident in your moves. Here we go, the aforementioned house where the burglary is taking place. We are in hot pursuit, and off we go. You only get to jump on those trampolines a certain amount of time, and you got to collect all of the fabulous 80s electronics in front of you. After board that, need to open the door, just barely gets by it, and we're off to a good start.
Activates one of the sound wave doors like we were talking about earlier, able to push their aggressor back, but unfortunately gets hit going back where they came from there.
Now, the trampolines are going to send you up as far as you want. You just got a time when you press left and right on your control pad, and yeah, you can wait until the trampoline sends you higher, so you can choose what level you want to get off at, so to speak. Gonna wait and pick up the safe, but has to go back because of the cat burglar. Needs to open that door. Uh-oh, gets locked in. And it's now, we have our first player, Joannie, down to her last life already.
Yeah, with plenty of artifacts above her, too. Little 80s themed items that she's got to go pick up. Knocks down one of them, allowing her to get past it. That was a nice play there. Do you see the Mona Lisa?
Mona Lisa, as well as the... Probably should have waited a few seconds there for the door slam, and that's going to do it. 25-40, the first score for Joannie.
As we talked about, this is one of those weird ones, and I think when you haven't played it before, you definitely got to warm up a little bit. Those trampolines can confuse you, especially if you don't pay attention to the little cutscene at the beginning where it warns you. You can only do that so many times. I made that mistake before.
And you got to really get into the thing of like timing the doors out well. And I got to say, the colorful doors, the ones flashing multicolored, those are really good because they'll send out sound waves.
My favorite thing to do with those is to get like a conga line of like as many of them as I can and then hit the door, because then I know that I'll knock out as many as possible, and you can just go to town on every level hopping to get as many of those things before they get back up, because that is the hardest thing, is you do have to watch, and sometimes you'll think it's safe, and then like as we saw, you'll get on the little platform and then it's too late.
Alrighty, up next is going to be Alex Moore, or Coach Moore as he is known, head coach of Valorant and Halo. We'll see how well he does on running through hallways. I'm sure Valorant and Halo does have running in them, so he should have at least some experience. And here we go. He's got to get there before the cat does. He falters right at the very beginning, hesitating, and pays for it.
You know, one of the nice things about this game is if you start going for the trampoline, even if you're not fully on it, the game does give you a little bit of grace time. So you just have to be quick about it.
All right, it's going to open the door and gets the push off. It's going to pick up 200 for that. But the cat burglar is going to sneak up on him. And already off to a pretty rough start for two players.
Solid opening for him with no cat burglars in sight as one of them gets knocked out by the door, because sometimes that'll just happen. He's able to bounce up there.
Oh no,
trying to
risky
avoid
play,
them,
and he's not able to get down. The fall of Coach Moore, as he only gets 870.
The AI is not nice in this game.
No, it isn't. Well, this is the part where we hope our third contestant, Lucas Hill, has really been watching closely and listening to our advice in the control room.
Oh, we hope so.
This is the advantage you get from going third, is you kind of get to see how the game works out and what are the strategies and weaknesses.
Yeah, so hopefully he'll be able to step up and maybe get through a few more artifacts. Let's see if he can make sure he doesn't lose his life immediately as well. That'll be pretty important to getting up there. I think another thing that's just really hard about this game is, of course, just timing, as we keep talking about, and that's something we keep seeing repeated. So, has a very easy TV right up there, and another one as well.
Picks up the computer, immediately goes for the TV. I can already tell he is coming here to play. Grabs the Mona Lisa and takes advantage of the trampoline immortality. Now the flashing one is worth more. He's going to get double for that.
Ooh, brave soul jumping on, but unfortunately turns back and gets knocked out. But that's a very solid first start for him. I think he already has more points than the other two.
Yeah, he's got half. Joe got 25-40.
Oh, so he's pretty
a little ways off. I think there's 4 items left for him. 5 items left.
Oh.
He's going to get... Well, you can pretend that didn't happen.
Just go for the doors.
Yep, you can open those doors. That's something that is normally a feature of doors. You can open and walk through them. He's also got the flashing doors, which you can open as well.
Waits for a second before going across the map. Solid strategy if you want to keep them away from
Gets
you.
the
And
save worth 500. He's now in the lead. Doesn't quite like the look. Let's open the door!
but
I guess sometimes opening a door is just too much of a challenge for someone to rise up to. 29-30. So overall, pretty disappointing showing here. I guess opening doors and walking forward was just too much to ask for these three players.
you know, Mappy is one of those weird ones that challenges players to do things that they wouldn't normally do in video games, but in real life. And that can cause sometimes, a little bit of a disconnect. And that's okay.
It's the generation today. They're too used to those opening doors automatically, and it just shows everything that's wrong with this country right now. I remember when doorknobs used to mean something. Anyway, that does it for our first game. We can see the scores that each player has. Lucas currently holds a narrow lead with 2,930 points. Joanny nipping in second place at 2,540, and Coach Moore at a distant third with his 870. So now that we can take Mappy off the wheel and go on to the next game, maybe these players are going to get something a little bit more intuitive. Maybe a Pac-Man or a Galaga to try to just get back their confidence a little.
Yeah, Galaga is kind of scary, though. Like, I know how to play that game, and it can still be kind of hard, because just, like, whenever the ships come all the way down and spin, that can be annoying. But, Pac-Man would be a good one. I like watching people play Pac-Man. That if someone is good at it, it's very enjoyable to watch. So.
Well, let's spin the wheel and see what we get next. Next game is, in fact, going to be Sky Kid. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting selection. It's kind of it's a side-scrolling shmup where you can kind of go wherever you want. You can choose to head up into the air or try to get some targets onto the ground. It's also very challenging. I think that is a key thing that we're going to see throughout all of these games. It's like they're a lot harder than they
That's
look.
the thing about arcade games, because, when they were created, it was at the very beginning of the gaming industry, and so the idea of balancing a game to fit all areas of skill was not very well created and very well understood. So people would just be like, I don't know, I made a game where you run around in a maze getting chased by ghosts. That can't be too hard.
Right.
And that one's one of the easier ones.
That is one of the easier ones.
There's still, it's still more complicated than people realize, especially because the joysticks aren't as responsive as what people using modern day controllers are used to.
Sure, that's one of the kind of the greatest killers that can be in for arcade games too, is if that joystick is responsive enough or not. If you get one that doesn't respond kind of in that split-second thing, then some of the games can be really hard to play, especially platformers.
Oh, yeah.
And Pac-Man also is one of those that can be affected by irresponsive controls. But now we move on to Sky Kid, and this is kind of themed to World War I. As you know, you're in kind of one of those classic biplanes trying to shoot everyone out of the sky and so forth.
Yeah, before I knew what this game was about, and you just told me the name of the game, it gave me Lava Girl and Shark Boy energy.
This
am I
so
wrong?
far from that.
The name though was all I thought at first.
All right, here we go. And as you can see, pretty self-explanatory. You got your little biplane, and you gotta shoot people out of the air, match the button, and he is able to recover from that one. That is one
time events in this one.
Yeah, that is one thing that's nice. If you get hit out of the air, if you mash the fire button, you have a chance of recovering. He didn't grab the bomb, though, and that's a little bit problematic for him. He's going to pick up a few points and then try to land safely.
Oh.
Is he able to? Oh. He overshoots it, and they are cheering his demise. He crashed! He crashed!
Yay! All right, mission number 2.
Let's go for the battleship. All right, beautiful takeoff.
It's very intuitive flying. I love watching it.
That is another kind of move you can do, an air dodge. He's going to wait for what's behind him. No! He's going to have to take one out. Ooh. He's still struggling, but he still has 1 life left. Actually, 2 left. Okay, moves up.
That is one of the dangers of side-scrollers, is being too close to the edge can get in the way of an enemy there, like what happened now.
Screen crunch is your worst. It's the worst thing that can happen to you. Barely dodges there. Can he recover? Nope, can't.
Ooh.
That's going to do it for him in Sky Kid 1990. So none of the players so far have really broken out towards a huge lead at all.
Yeah, not yet, which, kind of good. Kind of shows that we've got an even playing field for people to show off their skills and kind of figure out what's going on. But it does seem like we've also been going into those games where people just don't really know what they do yet.
True.
So it'll be interesting to see if maybe we get to one of the more well-known games.
Yes.
If we do start seeing that difference there.
So far for this Namco night, we've gone to the more obscure games that exist that people don't really know how to deal with. Joe is going to be the next player, stepping up to bat. This time not going first, so has had kind of the opportunity to see how this game works. It's on the tiptoes to reach the camera, needs to take off in there.
I feel that. All right. Ooh, hitting some of the guys on the ground there already, getting up for some points.
There were some hefty points, they're like worth 200 while the planes are worth 100. Already to the half point, now needs to pick up the bomb.
Just barely. You know what?
It took the instructions a little too literally. All right. Well, these trucks already have put Joe in the lead.
Oh, yeah. Just being able to hit a couple of the guys on the ground has been huge. All right.
Okay.
Now for the challenge. Get the bomb.
Oh, misses it, but can still finish out the level.
Watch out.
Has to watch out for that one. That one can fire back at you. Okay, now just has to do...
You hit the grave and it starts dancing.
There you go. Gets the landing, and now the cheers actually mean something.
And a one-up, I think I saw there on the screen. So.
All right, we're moving on to level 2. No one's yet to fell the battleship. This one really seems to be kind of the difficulty spike because you got the planes moving behind you. So you kind of got to be cognizant of where that is.
Tries to hit a few of them.
Oh,
recovers. Edging behind the little guys on screens.
Oh, they're trying to get away, but manages to take a few.
Nice. Ooh. They're changing up their patterns a little bit now, doing some of the air dodges as well, so you're going to have to be a lot more careful. Ooh.
Ooh, that is risky! Oh, just barely! Now there's the bomb already.
All right.
There you go. Now picks it up. Now it's the secondary button that drops that bomb, so the air... Oh, no! Drops the bomb a bit too quickly. But already has gotten leaps and bounds ahead of our first player.
We figured out how to pick up the bomb now.
We're taking little steps here. Gotta walk before you can run. And it's already has the advantage of the checkpoint.
You know what? Sometimes the trees just have collision and you don't know.
Sure, sometimes you're not sure.
The fun of arcade games is that you don't really know what is safe and what isn't. I've found in so many games like that, you think, oh, it's fine, they're trees. What could go wrong? And then something like that happens. And that's the fun of arcade games. They don't explain themselves very well, so it's always a wonderful discovery to see what might happen next.
Well, Joe actually got a pretty respectable amount of points there, 5,200, so that's going to place Joe right into the lead. Lucas is going to be the third player, just like last time, getting consistent advantages. So if he doesn't finish first here, then there's going to be some real explaining to do.
Let's see if he can pick up the bomb on the first level.
We'll see. He's trying to go down, trying to get the angle, get a feel for it.
All right. Solid couple hits on the trucks.
Okay, there's the bomb. It's just waiting nice and easy. Yep, there he goes.
Nice.
Okay, now the secondary button, the air dodge button is how you drop it. Beautifully placed. Picks up a whopping 1,000. And already one's life, and he's looking great. Picks up a huge amount of bonus points for actually dropping the bomb. Already into the tens of thousands.
This might be where he gets to kind of pick off the other players now, just because he was able to get that first bomb there. And if he manages to get the second one as well, though it will be a little bit harder because he does have to dodge all of these aerial helicopters as well. So far, he's doing a pretty good job. Oh, risky play there, but does manage to pull it off.
He's playing with confidence right now.
Oh,
well, maybe a bit too much confidence. Kind of goes a little too far ahead.
No.
Still manages to recover twice.
Watch out.
Yeah, he's
close.
still playing risky.
Oh, no.
And he finally pays for it, got a little bit too confident. Now, the question is he going to get the advantage off of, is he going to be able to, yes, he did get to the checkpoint, so that's important.
That'll make this part easier, as he'll be able to avoid some of these guys. Oh, no!
Oh, that's going to make him drop it. It was so close, too. It was just on the horizon.
I know. Oh, and he has to, wait, is that all the way back? No.
No,
it's not. I was about to say, it's like, Arcade, don't trick us now. Watch out for those trees, of course.
And picks up the bomb.
Now he's got to watch out for all of the aerial guys.
Oh, just barely dodged. He's not going to be able to get the battleship. Gets thrown out of the air, and that does it. But he did manage to drop a bomb successfully, and that already puts him up into the high scores. The game is just going to recognize him from getting past level 1.
I guess it's one of those hidden challenges that we get to find today where you never know. Maybe if someone else picks up Sky Kid, maybe that'll be the new one. Who knows?
Maybe. Believe me, we got nowhere to go but up. But here we go. We're going to take a look at the scores. But before we do, we just want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors for our events here tonight, and that is the Idaho Army National Guard. Proud supporter of Boise State esports. Top plays are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. So now we move into the third selection of the night, seeing if we will finally get into one of those really well-known games and maybe give our players here a bit chance to rack up the score. 14,680 gotten by Lucas. So that is very well played by him. It's actually, 1480. We'll get the totals updated eventually. I think there might be a little bit of fishiness going on with Coach Moore there because the arithmetic doesn't add up for me there. But we'll get the totals for you once we do. Let's see what the third game is going to be. Bring back up the wheel. And which one do you want to see most now?
Like I talked about earlier, I do really enjoy watching people play Pac-Man. And we did get to watch Mappy, and that one is one of my other favorites just for watching people try to figure out how to play it. So now that we fulfilled that, I do kind of want to see Pac-Man come out.
All
right. It's
right.
a little classic.
Let's see what the game selection is. The wheel is narrowing down. And the next game is, in fact, going to be Tank Force. Okay, so this is kind of a top-down game. You're looking down from the top, and you can move the tank in one of 4 directions. It's like, remember the tank battle one?
Yes,
this is kind of like
that.
Yeah, if you've seen that, you've seen this.
You know what? In fact, I really hope that our third player, Lucas Hull, does really well on this one because currently for one of our classes that he's recreating, we tanks. So he should be an expert, hopefully, in this type of game. Right?
Get a course credit already for this one. He is going to have to go first, though, so now he's in the guinea pig position.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that one goes, but who knows? Now that he's in the front, he'll have to see how that goes now that he's not the getting to get the benefit of watching everyone else play.
Right. We'll also see how the scoring system is. Again, they're pretty consistent across all Namco games. Most things getting you 100 points there, 100 points there. So
1,000 bonus or
1,000 bonus. Yeah. So it really kind of prioritizes finishing those levels to get the big bonuses. And we are just waiting for the game Tank Force to be chosen. I can see he's kind of going alphabetically through them. He's already to the S's. So the T is not far away.
We're close, yeah. No.
All right, here we go. This is kind of one in a long line of tank games Namco has released. They released another game called Tank Battalion. This is Tank Force, kind of the sequel from 91. So we're into the 90s now in terms of overall gameplay. We get to enjoy some state-of-the-art 16-bit graphics. And we're ready to hop into the game right now.
You can immediately see the difference in graphics, just like you were talking about.
All right, he kind of has to plan ahead is going in the lower left corner, right behind his face, and he's going to use that hiding for advantage.
Oh. Nice turnaround and retreat to be able to effectively hit them there. Oh. Oh no!
Warning might have thrown him off. There is a power-up available on the field, and those can be really good, but he moves into the wrong position. It's already eaten through a few tanks. The power-up is waning. Manages to pick it up.
Oh, very close there. With another tank coming on screen, he's able to, get a, two right there.
That's a collateral. 2,000 points? You know, I just like that kind of power-up. Just give me a lot of points.
Whenever you see them in the arcades, you know that they're just trying to tantalize you into doing something silly, too. So you have to be careful, but he's able to get it without really a lot of problems and then clear the round right as he gets another power-up.
Alrighty, has 8,400 moving in to round 2. Let's see how he does as we kind of get a new stage to fight on, and you can see this. You could play this game for the long haul. Lots of stages available.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of variety. This one has some water, which I'm sure you should not be trying to put your tank in, so it's probably another fun obstacle you can't actually destroy.
Ooh, now that one looks bigger.
Ooh.
It looks, yeah, that takes multiple hits, but probably awards a few more points as well. Yeah, you got 1,000 for that.
Nice dodging there as he's able to take him out one by one. Better watch out though, because it looks like more are going to be spawning in. There's a power up there. He's going to want to be careful, but he's able to pick it up. Is that an airstrike?
Yeah, might be able to get some air support. I like that power up right there.
That one's cool.
That is a beaut. Still has more tanks. It seems like there's probably a set level of tanks that just continually come in. That's going to do it. We're going to get his final score, 24,000.
It's a lot of points for that, but it did make sense that there's just a lot going on there. And of course, there was those power-ups that were just points, which he picked up 3 of them. So nice, hefty extra to his score there.
I think the strategy is if you see an airplane, get it, because that's going to clear out the whole field. Just go for the airplane.
No, definitely. That seemed like that one's a fun one. It looks like a little less like thrown in your face immediately, a lot more just watching where you're going and making sure you don't go out too quickly and try and get around the tanks instead of going head on. Except Lucas did do that a few times, but it did seem to work out as long as you were being careful. And
it does seem like it's just one of those easier games to pick out. You got the 4 cardinal directions, and then you just got your fire button. And that's a lot easier to pick up than, am I supposed to slam the door at the right time? Or these trampolines confuse me. Here we go. We'll see how Coach Moore does as he heads into the battlefield.
Yeah, the breakable walls do add an interesting level to this, where if you're not paying attention and think you're safe, it could be your downfall just because a breakable wall was removed earlier.
Kind of mess up your line of sights as well. He has a chance to just talk about lining them up. He's going to wait for the other one to come in, and then the third. Oh. Beautifully played.
Nice shot behind him as there's 2 power-ups right next to each other.
Oh, he's going to get an upgrade to his firepower.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, those look like that's full-on missiles. Now he has just 2 more. Trying to play a game of chicken with it, but overall wins it. Looks like the enemy tanks get faster. He's just trying to make the round end and put a bit of pressure, and he clears out with the same score. It looks like 8,400 is kind of the standard score to finish round 1 with.
So it looks like there's about a set total then of points that like your maximum if you do everything correctly. So that's kind of interesting actually, because that means if everyone's playing around the same level, then they might come out with about the same amount of points. However, Coach Moore does have the advantage right now.
He decides to go a little small actually in that power-up, but it kind of gives him a bit more maneuverability, and sometimes it is a game of just pixels.
Oh yeah.
You just dodge it by a few pixels. 3,000 points on the field, picks that up. Oh, and I see the airplane.
Oh, there it is. It's in the bottom corner right there.
A little bit harder to get to, and the problem is there's this tank guarding. There he picks it up. And clears them all out, gives them a whole bunch of points.
Oh.
And 2 cannons instead of 1.
Oh, now he's going to be able to pick up a lot more stuff. Oh, no. That's his first out, though, so that's good for him.
Yeah, still can clear this out. His pass where Lucas was, that was kind of dangerous, but manages to escape.
Something interesting that I've noticed, too, is those white blocks up there are actually immune to damage, so they kind of create a little area where you can't. It actually protects the tanks, which is probably good, because you could definitely just sit below where they spawn otherwise and break the walls and then just completely snipe them.
Coach Moore is opening up a very huge play. He's gotten up to 2,400, which actually means Lucas was right at the end there.
Oh,
24,000.
Really close. Yeah, you're right.
So this is all now Coach Moore just can run up his lead. And he needs it because his past few games haven't been the best scoring-wise. So here's his great chance at getting an equalizer.
Yeah, oh. Did the bullets cancel out there?
Looks like it, but that one sure didn't cancel out. Still has 1,000 points on the field, picks that up, gets the small tank power-up, is now speedier.
Oh.
Okay, I like that. I like how the game isn't completely heartless, like I'm going to spawn one right out of the corner.
That would be horrible, man. It's like the worst feeling in arcade games is when you don't realize that something's going to spawn somewhere and then it is your downfall. But luckily the game decided to be nice as he's able to just kind of mopping them up right now. They're not too bunched up in a way that makes it dangerous, and he got another power-up, so he's able to just kind of make his way along the edge right now, catching them when they're kind of stuck on the terrain.
Another 1,000 points up for grabs. Picks up 2, is going to move in to get the power-ups. There are no more tanks coming onto the field, which means these are probably the 2 finals.
One of them's just kind of stuck in the middle there.
Yeah, he just mows down the building and picks it up, and now look at this, 35,000.
Oh my gosh, this could be where he kind of runs away with it if...
But he's got 1 life left, so he's
Ooh.
Oh, things have gotten serious.
Oh, looks like a little bit of a, like, almost more like a boss kind of battle where you've got to deal with... Ooh. I wonder if you have to destroy those in the back. We'll find out after he gets rid of the tanks, I guess.
Well, he's going to get a bit of defense, a nice shield, which is always nice. Yeah, I think this might be a battle against time of you just got to take out the tank targets before kind of the rail cars at the top. Get rid of all your shields. It's kind of Space Invaders-esque.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
Heads up, and you can actually see in the upper right corner, that's how many tanks are left in the spawn. So he had 3 left, but that's the end to his journey. But still, what a rally for him. 42,400 points.
That is a huge increase of points for him there. And so as long as Joanny doesn't come in and completely show him up there in that final area, that's definitely going to be helping him out.
Well, has the definite advantage of seeing all these stages beforehand, and also realizing now that you can kind of see in the upper right how many tanks are left, so you can plan
That'll
accordingly.
Definitely help, yeah, so that way you know exactly how many are coming for you after each time and whether or not you should be a little more reckless or not.
And this is kind of the best example of a good arcade game. Easy to grasp, but really hard to master. I mean, you saw how many levels were available in this particular game.
Yeah, you can only imagine how difficult or just intricate they would have gotten over time there.
All right, back to level 1 for Joe. Ready to head in. Already picks up the first tank.
Nice shot there, just as the tank was about to reach safety, but gets sniped from far away by another one. Oh, that was unfortunate.
And actually, I think it's like a protect the base kind of thing. They got to the base and blew it up, which means only 800 for Joe. No. Oh, no. Our force finally received a crushing blow. Oh, what send in reinforcements as soon as possible. There are no reinforcements. We are done in terms of tank force.
And as we were talking about, difficult to master, we didn't even know that was part of the game until the last player.
Joe was watching the 2 other players as well.
Oh, no. You know, that's the one thing. I love arcade games, but it can be really frustrating to just have a suddenly new mechanic that you didn't even think was there. Just go, surprise,
that's
you're over.
That's what the warning was this whole time. There's like a base you gotta defend.
Oh, you're right. Maybe that was what was going on.
But
that would explain some things, that's for sure.
That would explain. But that means the other two players were just tanking out tanks so fast that it wasn't even that much of a factor.
We love the games that you don't.
All right. Well, we'll give the players some time to recover after that and be back with some more Namco games. See who overall gets the grand championship right after this.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at count.com.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. You're currently joining us for our Arcade Classic Showdown, in which we have 3 staff members of Boise State Esports duke it out in a bunch of classic arcade games to see who is the overall quarter champion. My name is Jacob Palmer, still joined by Audrey Norris calling all the action. Tonight, we are seeing Namco games exclusively, so well-known games like Galaga and Pac-Man, but so far we've kind of played the more obscure, lesser-known ones.
Oh yeah, no, we've been playing a lot of just random stuff like Sky Kid, Mappy, which everyone's, I think, seen it if they've gone to an arcade or seen a lot of arcade games, but I don't think people have played it.
It's the one in the back in the corner, and you're not quite sure. You just never get around to playing it.
Yeah, you see the art of the mouse chasing the cats, and then that's all you know. That was my experience for a while, going to like Grinkers or other arcade places, and I'd be like, oh, yep, there it is, and then I didn't play it for
exists. Well, here we
year.
see the dramatic turnaround that was brought on by Tank Force. Coach Moore just ran away with it with 42,000 points, erasing his other 2 rounds. Lucas Hall is still in it with 38,000, and Joannie could have her game. You know, she could find the one that's a tank force for her as well. So
she was doing pretty good beforehand. If I remember correctly, she was either second or in the lead after Skyforce. But no, that just wasn't her game. The hidden mechanic that we didn't know about was her downfall.
Someone had to be the guinea pig in that regard. All right, let's see what the next round is going to be. We're moving into round 4. And as we spin the wheel, we still haven't seen Pac-Man. Are we going to see it right now? No, it is going to be Dig Dug instead. It was close. But now we move on to Dig Dug, which is a fairly well-known Namco game. Everyone should have played this one at least once.
Oh, yeah. Dig Dug is one of those fun games where I think everyone knows how to play it, but maybe you don't always pay attention to what's actually going on.
Sure. And it always just it kind of just has some of the catchiest music as well. I mean, even though it's very simple, it's just having it tied to you moving. You just want to keep moving.
Oh yeah, you got to move around a lot in Dig Dug.
And of course, you have the mechanic of the last enemy tries to get away from you. When you're down for 1, it tries to move back up to the surface and get away. So that's your one opportunity to kind of get a few more points.
Oh yeah, you got to make sure you stop it before it takes your points away. So maybe we'll see if anyone manages to keep it going, or if it's going to get right out of their grasp.
Well, I have a good feeling about this one. I think this game is well known enough that all of these players should have a basic understanding of how to play it, and we'll have no surprises, which is a good thing because the last 3 games have had a lot of surprises.
Just a lot of stuff of like, how do I pick up the bomb? How do I dodge? Don't stand right next to the edge of the screen, because it's just a 50-50 on whether or not the game is nice enough to give you iframes when something spawns there.
All right, we're moving into Dig Dug. Coach Moore is up first. He's going to be the guinea pig. And here we go. 4 enemies, only 1 dragon to take care of, so pretty darn easy. Gonna move to try to get to his first. Gonna pick up the dragon first. I like that strategy, just getting that out of the way.
Oh, one of them's moving, though, so he's gonna have to be careful not to get trapped by it. And he does a solid attack, inflating it before it can do anything else.
Ooh, that's a risky situation. Oh, he's gonna try to lure them both in. Oh no, he got too greedy.
This is not one of those games that's nice to you.
I was half thinking he was going to go for the boulder off to the right.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going to risk it here. Now he just has the 1 left that's trying to get away.
Oh, there it goes.
All right, just has to go. And is he even going to try to hunt it down?
Oh, he's so close, but unfortunately.
But he does move on to the next level.
There are 2 dragons now.
Gets 1.
Nice quick succession there on getting the little guys there.
Picks up 1 of the dragons. Now he can just focus on the remaining easy one.
Oh, the dragon is moving now.
It's going to try to get away. But manages to get it, and that's a perfect round 2.
Yeah. Now all he has to do is just try and get through as many of these as he can with his lives intact, though one of them is trying to move towards him, but he's able to catch it before it can do anything.
He's got to plan this out already. Plans ahead. Tries to go for the boulder. Times it right and gets a cool 1,000 for that.
And now here come the dragons, but he's able to create a nice little pathway there so they can't get to him. As that one is now trying to run away. Ooh, it's playing dirty and just floating to the edge of the screen there. Will he be able to get it?
No, it just gets away. But he still has a healthy life count. Has 1 extra. Goes for the dragon immediately. It's worth the 800. Just had to break through.
Oh, the dragon is moving now. As one of the guys is hanging out up top, that might not be.
Oh, nice play. Gets another 1,000.
Oh, and now clean.
Another clean sweep.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it has so few mechanics that it's pretty simple as long as you're paying attention. That's the hardest part, though, is when the enemies just disappear off screen for a second. Then you gotta watch where they're going.
As soon as he's seen how much those boulders score, he's liking that strategy.
Oh yeah!
Oh! It takes him out with the fire. He goes. 13,500, not too bad.
Oh, gotta go for the dragon first now after what he did to him. Don't blame him there. They are pretty nasty.
Now those enemies are moving a lot faster because the game is telling them time is running out. Make your he lives by the boulder and dies by the boulder.
The boulder gives and takes.
That is unfortunate. But he gets the highest score. I mean, sure, he's the first to play it, but, hey, in first place right now, let's not take this moment away from him.
Yeah, so far so good. And he put up a huge showing for that, getting through multiple levels there, so it'll be both, a blessing and a curse for him. He was able to get pretty far, but he also showed his opponents a lot of the levels, too, so it might... Hopefully, it'll help him, but it might put him at a disadvantage there.
And more importantly, I think showed how much the boulders are worth if you can time them. So maybe in the easier levels, when you have more time, more of a grace period, it could take that into account. Joanne's back up to the plate. Is looking to recover after a brutal last round of Tank Force. This is the one opportunity for her to get back in the lead. We'll see how it works out. After the first, playing this a bit tentatively, trying to time it out right.
Oh.
Goes for the first. And yeah, it does look to be trying to plan out. Oh, no, runs right into it.
They have no mercy. You have to be really careful about those guys.
So, a little bit of trivia. The actual name for the enemies right now that are still on the screen are pukas.
I did not know that, so we're learning something new. Oh!
Wow, just barely escapes. Now there's just one left, and it's going to be running away.
There he goes.
Can Joe actually get? No, I don't think. But it's just going to pick up a few points. Remember, you kind of get 10 points for digging out more territory.
Which always helps. We were talking about the music earlier. Can we just appreciate how it stops playing when you stop moving?
I know. It gives you a sense like you've got to keep moving no matter what.
Yeah, there's something just satisfying about the quick, or like the stop and start just a couple times in succession. Oh, the dragon is coming. Oh,
looks
nice.
to be planning this out. Gets out of the way. Oh! Picks up the 1,000 from the boulder, but at what cost is the real question.
Oh, and now we know where he's going to be going.
Almost, and he was trying to run away.
Tried to juke her out a little bit there. Will she be able to make it? I think so.
Wait,
just wait. Yep.
Just barely gets it. All right, 4,700. And it's down to her last life. Oh my gosh. It almost was her last life.
Oh, nice catch on the dragon there.
Yeah, because he can kind of cheat it a little bit there. You don't have to go completely, open up the corridor completely. You're going to get the shot. He's taking advantage of that.
Oh, the dragon is coming up. He's looking for perhaps his dinner tonight, but...
Whoa! No, that's going to do it. 59-40. All righty. So not quite as good as the 13,000 we show. I think Coach Moore is on a bit of a roll right now.
The tank game, I think, was what started his climb back to the winner spot there, which so far he's holding pretty comfortably now.
A nice confidence boost, if you will.
Oh yeah.
All right. Last player up is going to be Lucas, who is still in, prime position. He's only 1,000 off from Coach Moore, so a few levels here, a few levels there, and he could get back in the lead. A few well-placed boulders.
Nice catch there. You got to be quick with the dragons.
Getting back. It's a bit of a risky play. Actually, it's going for both of them with the boulder. Has to get out of the way and manages to pick up one. That's going to be worth a cool 1,000.
Oh, and there goes the last enemy trying to run away, but he catches him before he can.
Very nice start. Getting the first level out of the way. Managed to get a boulder. Oh! No! That's risky. I think 90-degree angles are your worst enemy in this game. You want long sidelines, and you can see a bit of frustration.
Does not make the same mistake twice, though, and is able to pick up the the pop there and get another one as well. Though he does have to be careful. One of them is coming up to try and avenge his brethren. It's unsuccessful though, and now he has to go for the dragons.
Oh, it tries to get it through the wall. And now there's just one left.
There it goes.
And manages to finish that level out. But is a bit far behind in terms of score.
And he'll have to be very careful with his life count there as well.
Still hasn't surpassed Joe in the score she got. He's down to the last life, most crucially. He's waiting to lure. Oh,
unsuccessful.
Yep, sometimes the boulder doesn't always work out. Sometimes just fighting on the surface can really work out for you. He clears the round again. He's now up to 5980, level 4.
What a brave soul there, going for the above and below.
I like this. I like that play, 2,500.
That was a beautiful play there.
And now he is almost about to break 5 digits. Has to be careful with how he approaches. As trying to play it. Yeah, I was just going to probably recommend just waiting at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is the level that Coach Moore got to.
Oh, he's got to watch out.
Already a lot more aggressive. Oh, tries to get the boulder and gets it. Another 2,500.
Oh, here comes the dragon, though. Oh, no.
Oh, it's a 2-on-1. And that takes him out just shy of Coach Moore's 14,000.
It was a good showing, though, for only having 1 life going into that area, though, and was able to get off 2 very nice double pops with those boulders there.
So now we have 5 normal games and then 1 wager game, where they can wager as many points as they want secretly. And whoever gets in first place gets their wager. The other 2 lose their wager. And you can see that Lucas and Alex are just within 10,000 points of each other. Joanne's still kind of struggling. That 800 really just put a huge dent in the momentum.
She'll definitely want to pick up a lot of points in this next round if she wants to be able to wager enough to be able to combat those 2, because at this point, unless they bet 30,000 points right now, she's not going to be really able to do a lot.
Well, you know what the perfect game to make up this difference would be? Pac-Man. Because you can score into the tens of thousands easily in Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah. As long as you're just paying attention, Pac-Man is a solid way to gain a lot of points, and everyone knows it. So
everyone should know it.
Should know. That's true.
Alrighty. Let's pull up the wheel and see what the next game is going to be. Okay, all players. Actually, we're just going right into the the wager round. Looks like we're just going to call it right now and see what the players have wagered.
All right, so I have...
Do we want to say them on air, or do you just want to show them to me and write it?
Yeah, no, so I'll show them to you. I've only got 2 of them right now, though, so I'm guessing someone's trying to look for me.
Okay. Going to take a look. Okay. Okay.
That's what we've got so far.
Some interesting strats being brought out by some of our players.
Oh, and then the final one, of course.
The final, yep. Okay. These are some interesting wagers, I gotta say. Some dreams are going to be made tonight, and then someone's hopes are going to be dashed, is all I'm going to say about the wagers so far. So let's see what the final game is. Will we actually be able to close this out with the game Namco is known for, or are we actually going to see Pac-Man brought out? It is going to be Pac-Man. Could it
tried to trick us there.
Any other way? We are going to be going to the classic Pac-Man.
I think that's a fitting way to end this. We finally get to see the good old Pac-Man go against the ghosts.
Logo right here has had Pac-Man all along. And this is the first time we're actually showing Pac-Man.
I feel like this is like something we've been building up to slowly. We keep talking about it, and it's final round.
Alrighty, so Pac-Man, one game that has been played to death, literally to the physical limits of the game. People have gotten to Maze 256, I believe, the one that glitches out and the game literally can't continue. I don't think they'll get that far, but
We would be here for a while if that happened,
we would be
but
here for a while.
it would be interesting, that's for sure.
All right, so a few things to keep in mind about Pac-Man is corners can be your best friend, actually. We go from a game where corners are not your friend to a game where corners are.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get a little bit of a speed boost while going around corners. And so if the ghosts are in hot pursuit, that can be a great way to kind of get out of a sticky situation. All right, I can hear the iconic sound effects starting up. Let's get into it and see how Coach Moore does at Pac-Man.
Oh.
Well, that's disappointing. Remember, each ghost having a different type of AI. Are you familiar with all the different AIs?
Oh, it's been a while, but they do have their own behaviors, and some of them you have to be really careful with, because they all have their different levels of aggression and how they'll chase the player, so you've got to be very careful.
So, in full disclosure, Red, that is Blinky, just tries to go directly for Pac-Man. Pink, which is Pinky, will try to kind of ambush you, tries to kind of look ahead of where you are and tries to trap you in. Inky will try to trap you in between himself and Red. And then Clyde, the orange one, just kind of goes in random directions.
Yeah, Clyde's one of the fun ones, because he'll just be in the corner just chilling while the rest of them are like doing some ultimate pincer attack against you, and it's just really fun to watch. Plus, we all love the naming convention. I know, you do have to be careful though, because especially if you let Red get right behind you, because then that's when the other ones become very dangerous.
Now, the fruit in the first few rounds isn't worth too much. Cherries are just worth 100, strawberry worth 200. Once you get into, is unable to get to the power pellet. I could see a real opening here for the other players.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I like this, clearing out the bottom. That's usually what I like to do when I start out because, like I said, corners are your best friend. You don't normally want long hallways, although the corners that aren't your friend are the ones at the very end, the corners of each individual level of the power pellets are, because those can kind of be the hardest because you have very few options on where to actually travel.
Yeah. I found that one of the most helpful things is if you are able to stagger your power pellets enough, because those are your lifeline. And as long as you keep yourself set up in a way where you're not going to be...
I told you, Pink looks out for where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
68-70. Which, remember, only the player who finishes in first place is going to be awarded their wager. The rest get their wager taken away from them.
Which, depending on how you choose to bet, could be very rough. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Wasn't the worst showing, at least we got past the first level, which I'd say, as long as if you played Pac-Man before, that's all I expect of you. Get past the first level at least, because it's one of those. But it will be interesting to see how it goes forward, because this could be where Joannie...
Sure.
is able to get past them. We'll see.
All right, we'll see how Joannie does. Going to start up the right straight away. Picks up the power pellet almost immediately. Go for the second, which is worth 400. Oh, hesitates and almost puts herself in a risky situation. Now I think this could be a big one. As the second lined up is just trying to go for the power pellets. Gets 400, not bad.
You gotta be careful. Ooh. Able to dodge Pinky, but she's looking, she's waiting.
An ambush, and that's the situation Pinky always tries to put you in. Trapped between two. Now has just basically the lower half of the maze to clear out. Cherries available. Which, it's not the biggest point amount, but, considering how low Coach Moore scored, 100 could be the difference.
Ooh, be careful here, though.
Just gets out. No, I almost thought Joe was going to escape. Should be able to get past the first stage.
Yeah. When in doubt, follow Clyde, though,
Just follow Clyde.
He's the least likely to go after you, so just if you follow him, it's probably the best direction to go in normally.
Okay, has managed to make it to level 2, Strawberry. 68-70 was the score to be. Not going to beat it this time. That means we know for sure that Joe's wager is going to fall, and I think we can actually say now what the wager is now that we know. Joe wagered all her points.
Oh, yes. In all caps, it was very, very important to know that she did that. I don't know. But yeah, no, so with that, we are now at 0 for Joe.
Yeah, Joe has 0. What remains to be seen is if Lucas can beat kind of the very low bar that Coach Moore set. 68-70. That's one maze cleared, but not necessarily, you know, maybe one good if you manage to catch all 4 ghosts. Remember, if you do that, you've got north of 3,000 points in just 1 power pellet.
Whoa, there comes red, though.
There we go. This is it. This could be the moment. Already gets 400. The next is going to be worth 8. And actually hesitates at the last moment. That could be costly.
Oh, gotta be careful. Red is on the hunt now, and Pinky has joined in.
Is Clyde gonna...
Oh!
I think he took your advice of going after Clyde a bit too literally.
You gotta be careful. I mean, Clyde is definitely a good direction to go in, but you don't want to follow him that closely. I do think when the pincer attacks come in, though, that's the one I'd pick, because he's the least likely to just turn around and betray you.
He's playing it a bit gingerly with the ghosts, too. Which is main thing, like, if I was in his position, I would go for the ghosts right now, because they're going to be your biggest point makers. Clears out the corner. I do like that. And he isn't under that much pressure. Goes for clearing out the corner.
Able to... Oh, here she comes, though.
Oh, just barely now. He has them all in a line, so this is good.
Now you just need to get to your last power pellet.
It's right there, but Clyde could prove the ambush. Okay, he picks that up. 68-70 on to level 2. He's halfway there.
Kind of waits to see if any of the ghosties decide to show up, and they do not, so he goes up to the top and just goes straight for Piggy. Going to the other side. Ooh, Red is hot on his tail, however.
Really going for... Oh, Clyde actually goes for the ambush! You hate it when that happens, when Clyde actually gets smart for a few seconds.
Oh, man. He always just surprises you.
Now, he is so close here. Just one good power pellet and he can make it. He's already got 400. Is he going to go for the third? I think he can make it. Does pick it up and is just nipping out the heels. 50 left, gets another 200, and that is going to do it. Lucas has picked it up, quickly bows out after that. And that is going to do it. I can also tell you now, Coach Moore wagered all of his points as well. Which means
we're at 0-0.
Which means we don't even need to know what Lucas wagered because he won. The other two are at 0 entirely, and Lucas walks away with the championship, clutching it in Pac-Man.
Yeah, and as we said, Pac-Man, good old reliable, I guess, in that scenario, except with Clyde a few times there. He kind of showed us wrong. My advice was unfortunately not helpful to some people.
Again, he took it too literally, just like Joe took the advice of pick up the bomb a little bit too literally.
Yeah, but no, overall, really good. I'm glad we got to see so many like just niche games that just no one knows about, especially right at the beginning. There was some good warm-ups there. Right.
You just have to wonder if maybe they had known a little bit more about the mechanics of Mappy if they would have been able to.
Yeah, Mappy is one of those where they could have run away with quite a few points if they had figured it out, but it is definitely a hard one to understand. So.
Alrighty, well, that should do it for us tonight. Lucas Hall getting the win in our Namco Night Arcade Challenge. Do you have any final thoughts?
Just glad that we finally got to do some more arcade games. I always enjoy that. I think it's good to look back at where we came from with all of these are now shiny, fancy machines and good graphics. We got to remember where we started sometimes with, 16 by 16 pixels being chased around by ghosts.
Yep, it all started from there. And back in 1980 is when Pac-Man was released. So it's been over 40 years. Pac-Man is 42 years old.
Jeez, it feels so weird hearing something like that.
Yeah. basically for both of our lives, Pac-Man has existed. It's older than us.
Oh, yeah, no. Which is such a funny thing to think of, that a game is older than someone. But
Right.
most of the arcade games are.
All righty. So we're going to be closing it out tonight. We want to thank you all for watching. So in conclusion, pick up the bomb gingerly. Don't get too close to Clyde. And make sure you know your niche titles. I think those are the 3 takeaways for tonight. We'll leave you with those takeaways. And we hope you have a good night. And join us next time for our next arcade challenge.